Alright, back to another, what I'm titling this mini-series, Into the Woods. Yesterday I did Into the Woods number 1, and this is going to be Into the Woods number 2. I was over here, so after traveling about 20 miles of hiking, I managed to get to this point again from yesterday, and I might do this one today also, but we'll see. So I'm going to do this tree. I got some scrap here and something. This is not ours either. Well, some of it is, but most of this is all debris that at some point we're going to get rid of. Yes, I'm not in the woods, I'm actually home. So it kind of shows you how far you can go to go paint. You don't really need to go too far. Sometimes you just need to paint where you are. Some things can work great, and then for the other stuff that is not around, you're going to have to go somewhere else. Like if you wanted to go paint water or a nice vista, you might have to travel somewhere, or the city, or find a good downtown scene to paint, real busy. Yeah, you might have to do some moving, but I'm trying to not waste too much time during my day. I'm trying to get some other paintings done, which are still in the works, that I still have on the easel in the studio, and my studio is in the garage. So let me go ahead and start painting. Do I have my brushes? Oh, hold on, let me go get my brushes for a second. I gotta go travel another 20 minutes. Hold on. Okay, all right. Whew. It took forever, so I got the brushes. It didn't take me that long to get them. I want the big brush. Wash these brushes from yesterday. I'm going to start off the same way. A little bit of linseed oil. This is my wash bucket. Right now it looks like it's going on a little bit. Some of the paint from yesterday is still floating around, or I might have I picked it up from there. I'm sorry. I was like, wait a minute, didn't I wash my brushes? So on this in this spot at this time of day, which is about 2 hours or 3 hours before I started yesterday, and I'm slightly away from a behind me lit garage, which was causing the painting to be lit up quite a bit. It's harder to judge values, etc. But I kind of like the photo the way it kind of came out. And of course I always like the painting as it's finished. So I kind of wash that down with a little bit of linseed oil. A bit thin. It's not all covered, but it's pretty much. And then I just take a rag, aka paper towel, and just wipe it. This surface on this panel, this is a store-bought panel. I do make them like this, just to kind of save money, but it's kind of time intensive. And also, when I make my floater frames. The floater frames are the sides when I get the stock are just the right size, but these store-bought panels are just a little bit on the. I remember right. I think they're a little bit on the thicker side, and they kind of come up a little bit too much because I like to have a little bit of room from the top face of the photo frame to the painting. So that's that. Let me get a paper towel. We're going to start sketching. I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so I don't really need this brush right now. I'm just going to use a smaller brush. Alright, so oh wait a minute, no. We do have the oil on. Forgot. I'm going to stain this thing. So yesterday I was trying to gun for a bluish tone, and I did. But after the finished painting, I liked the tone of that, so I'm going to go for a little bit of a orangey or brownish tone. So we'll start off with an orange, maybe even a little bit of the yellow ochre, hit it with a little bit of the blue here. I'm just going to gray it down, so that's about it. Just going to cut all this on here. And I'm going to try to leave some of this open space in the whites. Since I'm doing this tree, I'm not exactly sure what all I want to put in just yet, but I have kind of an idea. And I'm not trying to plan out the white areas, but I think I might. So this trunk, I do like the trunk as a focus with the highlight in this area, so I'm thinking maybe around in here. Just immediately, it's going to pop up like this. Some of the background come up here and kind of kink, and then there's some yellow bits up here, here, and here. So I might leave some white over here. The trunk here. I think so. So I think I'll leave that white there. So I'm on a little bit of a learning stage in doing this part of a painting. Because you learn as you go. You're always learning as you go when you're painting. Unless you're straight up doing graphic paintings that are pretty much straightforward and that's all it is. You're just trying to fill in the colors, and there's no artistic expression. It's just, that's it. It's almost like paint by number. Well, actually, paint would be paint by number, right? But off topic. Let's get this in. Chunk will be going somewhere in here, I think. Oh, I was going to want to leave some of this wide, but we'll see. Just thoughts. Like that other one, it was a surprise. Some of it I left in. You could always take it out or obliterate the white. If it's too much. Okay. Alright, I think that's cool. Let me just go ahead and get this to be a little less moist in oil. Of course, this will start to obliterate some of your whites. As long as the paint goes down in single layer. They're good. We do have a little bit of a reflective light coming. I think it's from this. I don't know where that's coming from. Oh, it's from that paint tube or something down in here. Oh, this brush handle. Is reflecting light. Right, so let's get this brush. Yeah. A little bit of blue. A little bit of brown. This is just going to make it really definitive on where stuff is going to lean. Okay, so tree trunk is right about here. This tree does kind of angle up. So I mean, with stuff like this, you don't really have to put it exactly, but to kind of try to follow nature's a good thing. So kind of kinking a little there. The question of putting a tree trunk right here, I think, is probably a good idea. There's some extra like stuff here. I think I'm just gonna continue like so. See, there's like this some extra bit of tree. I don't even know what it is, and it just looks out of place. So if it looks out of place and it just doesn't look right, and it makes you wonder what is it? Probably not something you want to put in. There's like broken part of a tree. Yeah, making the trunk wider than it is at the base is not a good idea. I think that's fine. This negative area here is an attractor. It'll make your eye draw to it. Unless you make the values. If this and this is all similar, then it won't. Alright, let's see, let's go up. I think it does need to be go boom. And then this one goes up. Has a slight kink to it there. I'm going to start down about here. We're going to go right on up. Taper over so slightly. Right. I think that's a good weight to the tree. And we can put in some shadows. A lot of this stuff is just, let's see, wait a minute. So it goes off here. That's the tree. This is just all dark, right? And including this is dark. So this is dark. Wait a minute. Oh, this is light. So this is the dark bit. Because our sun is over there. Way up there somewhere. And this becomes our shadow. The shadow knows, right? Okay. Maybe even there's some shadow stuff here going on. I think that's fine if we can chunk or maybe have some highlights like here. And this area as a chunk. And then we come up to about here. Notice that I've got a little bit of a kink here in the stuff. Boom, like so. So that's Into the Woods. I'm not gonna put, I might put, I guess eventually I might decide to put limbs in front to have a little bit more of a coming at you feeling. So hopefully this one will go good. Let's start painting. Alright, so I think I'm going to start off with the trunk and then we'll move over to I don't even have whatchamacallit on this palette. I think I just ventured too much into the red, but let's see. Let me go a little bit more. That's kind of a brown. I kind of want to maybe want more green in there. I'm not really sure if I really want that much. I think that's about right. We'll thin it a little bit. We're in a gray blue. It does have some red going on. Some orange reflective light coming over here. I think maybe if we introduce some yellow ochre over here, we're in a better shape. Maybe even as we're coming up, throw in more blue. Bleed it into here. Yeah, I ran out of alizarin crimson, so I was kind of hoping I could maybe take some of this purple and add red to it. Alright, so this is starting to be reflected light. And then I'm going to grab the orange. I want a little bit more orange. Wonder how this is going to be. That's good. A little bit more orange to it. Wow, I think that pushed it too far. Okay, I think we're good. As we're coming up, try not to overwork everything. And as I go up, I'm going to try to bend it a little bit of yellow. Okay. I can use some same tone in here to kind of launch off this one. And then get back into here. And over here, we need, I wonder if I can grab a little bit of that red. I just want it to be a little bit darker. And then maybe, I'm really playing a lot within these same values. So it hasn't really changed much. We'll eliminate it a little bit more. Because these scenes are usually real close to similar values. Alright, so now I want to go just a tiny bit darker down in here. Is it going darker on me? No, not really. Kind of cut up that away. A little bit darker value. Get some red in there. Just kind of blast it in there. Alright, so now let's do green. I'm going to chunk in a lot more green. This is going to be my shadow green. A little more blue. Some of these greens do change within the shadow for whatever reason. And kind of come in and do this one as well. Okay. Maybe a little bit darker. Really use a lot of paint in these. So some of this, I'll lighten up this one a little bit. Okay. I'm going to slightly lighten and add a little bit of orange to the mix. And then I'm going to go for filling in some of this. A little bit of oil for mileage. I just got to be careful not to, well, you don't have to. You can blast in to that tree trunk. So I got like some horizontals going through the background here, and then stuff starts to join up. I think I want to, as you go further back, you get a little bit thinner lines, right? Well, at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to connect up to that little kink there. Okay, hopefully that tone, I think the tree trunk might have to come out a little bit more, but we'll work on that. So let's go a little, just a little bit down here, I guess. Alright, so let's get some dark going. And I'm still in the same area, but I think I need to go more orangey with this. This is gonna help the tree trunk pop out a little bit more. Let's see, if I go this way, I was trying to get or leave some of that white there. So let's just see. I think as we're going up, maybe this black, maybe a little bit more towards this area. This is going to fill in. Like so. I'm kind of looking at what I need to paint, and also I'm trying to think about these shapes as helping with the composition as well. So all that fills in. I need to pay attention to the taper. It needs to taper just a little bit as it goes up. Okay. I even kind of come into that tree trunk. Up. Okay, let me go ahead with I see an overall dark shape to this as being right kind of here, and then it kind of comes up. And then I'm going to grab some blue to lighten it up. I'm just going to smear this around a little bit. This is going to be background stuff. This is to be the yellow. And then we can come with, let's see, a little bit more blue. Not sure if this is all, I think, yeah, because it's hard to see that change. I kind of want a little bit more of a blue-green coming forward. That's fine. We'll hit that. Add some yellow ochre. There we go. Alright. Okay. Let's do a little more white. Alright. Now go dark. Go darker. Okay. Then we need to go in the light even more. Some of these areas will modify. I feel like we have a lot of a lot of horizontal going on, so I'm going to try to eliminate some of that. Just by going like so. Okay, so now I will grab more yellow. Oh my gosh, I'm just killing this yellow. It's gonna be so costly. I'm going around on some of these borders, on the back side of these borders. Reason why I'm going to put more green over the top of them. Okay, let's grab even more. Go over some of this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And then I grab some white. This is dull because I'm using a lot of white, so I'm thinking I'm just going to fill in these. But later I'm going to come in like that with that one. Okay, so now maybe even like so. Alright. Some more yellow. Like that. Grab some yellow ochre, venture off over here. Let's model some stuff. Oh, a little bit more orange. Let's model this area in here. Some orange I'm seeing coming down. I'm just looking at colors within stuff and putting it in. No biggie. Fringe stuff within the borders of the light. Where light's kind of poking through. And it sees more. The light hits it more. It's almost abstract painting. I do paint abstract, but I do like painting like this too. Let's go with alright, I'm contemplating on changing my brush now and cleaning the palette. Let me just get out of that because that's kind of staying in similar values. Let's tweak some areas here. I want to tweak some stuff over here. This is like so. Not too sure about what I'm doing there, or if I like it. I do like the green orange mixture. And this. Some stuff here. Let's just fuck with that a bit. Okay. Alright. Alrighty. Getting there. Oof. Alright, let's play with this area here and fill this area in. I might even reach for the blue. I think I will. Try not to make this look like swampy area. I keep making the strokes go downward. This isn't a swampy area. I think that's good. I think I need to make a nice dark. Jab the brush. Triangle. Alright. Some of these shadows kind of darken towards the bottom edge. Kind of helps reinforce that. Okay. Into the woods. And I think I'm going to need more yellow. I'll tell you what, let's work with this. I'm kind of squinting and trying to. That's cool. Not quite sure just yet. I got a lot of dark going on here. Going to obliterate a little bit. Alright. And still looking at the overall picture. I think I'm going to try to get some orange going on in here. Alright, so now I need to clean my palette. Use some of this muck that I scrape up and put on the side. Guess I need some dark value. Now I need to clean my brush. I'm going to use the same brush, the same skinny one. I need more yellow. Let me get some more yellow. Oh, hold on. And the lighting on here is going to start to change. So I need to kind of. I'm going to start getting. I'm going to start getting some of this lighter, really pale green. I'm going to get some of this muck, and just it's kind of a gray green. And let's see, we'll go along the border here. Okay, I think I like some of that, maybe even lighter than that, for a highlight over here. Now let's start creeping up on it this way. There is a nice one here. Okay. And then there's a kind of like a chunk where I was kind of trying to leave some of it, so I'm going to go with a lot of white. Like so. the top of this. I'm gonna have to. There is some here. Oops, thought I was showing you that. Okay. Trying to help show the form of where this tree trunk is throwing a shadow. And I'm going to fill this in. It's got a shadow going, but I don't think it's as strong as it could be. And I think I do need to get in here and get this going darker. Okay. I think we can play around with doing that. Just dragging stuff up. Kind of walking back and looking at it as it's taking shape. We are going to darken this. I think I want to go more. Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, you don't have to paint everything that you see. You just kind of take bits and pieces that would add to the composition that you would think would help. Okay, I think I need to dive into the yellow now. This is straight up yellow stuff in the front. Is it up? And I can, do I need this? Because I'm going to have some over here. I think it's fine. The dogs are barking. Okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna go with this yellow and mash it all into here. And then I want to darken the yellow down in here and throw up some art pieces. That may be too much. Okay, that's looking cool. Alrighty. I think I'm going to use this mishmash of stuff to make it look like some limbs that are hanging out. How about one right there? Okay. So I'm playing around up in here. It's got some dappled light popping up on the trunk. Dappled light popping up on the trunk. Nice. It is popping up here. I gotta hurry up because my battery on my phone's gonna die. That's good. To go in with the darker brush, fill back in here. I'm going to fill in these other areas here. And then I want some more yellow. And surround these borders here. Sense of sinking in of the grass. Working kind of quick here. So, Into the Woods is happening. I'm going to open up the shadow and lay it down a little bit more. these two. I think it's going to lay down. It may not, because I need the blue. There we go. And then the brown is just going to reinforce this trunk. A little bit darker in the crick. Some lines I don't want to make too much. I do want to make this tree trunk like so. A little more light on the tree, go into this blue mixture. I want to go in here. And then here. Here. Okay. Now for some limbs. Alright. Alright, so we're almost done. 55 minutes into this painting. Trying not to, hold on, let's see, that might be too much. Forgot about this part. This part I wanted to make blue. Should I? Yeah, I guess so. Let's dive into the blue here. And we'll just throw in some blue. So I think I'd try not to make this a focal point. I want to say, hey, there's some sky coming through. I'm going to drive it up this way more. If that's okay. And this over here. blue is a little too much. I'm going to close it off. That's good. I think it still needs to be closed off. Because it's fighting with the trunk. The trunk has blue in it, but this has got a corner. That's too much for me. I think that's good. Let's get a little bit lighter. Can I go? I'm trying to finish this painting before my camera caves. Okay, there are little like flower, like petals. I mean, not petals, leaves. Down in here. Kind of wondering if this. Let's introduce a little bit more negative space in some of this. It's not too. It is a competing shape. I might cut this and try to say, hey, it is kind of something there with the black, and I think we're done. Some like stuff going on there. Alright, so let's go ahead and sign. I think the best place to sign this is over here. Okay. So that wraps up this painting. Hope you enjoyed it. It's definitely different than what I see, and that's good because I'm just kind of responding to what I'm seeing. You can't paint what you see exactly how you see it, but I think it just makes a little bit more interesting painting if you change things up some. And I'm kind of wondering if I should push into this yellow thing. I think I'm going to. I'm going to have to. How can I change this without changing too much? Bingo. looks less of a competing shape so far. And I think that needs to go there. Just separate it so it's not linking as much. And then next would be to do that. Alright, so that's it. That wraps up this painting. That is a really nice painting. Hope you liked it. And see you in the next video. Bye for now. And here's the finished painting. This was a lot of fun. The tree with the foreground leading towards the background was an interesting effect to pull out and introduce into the scene. When you do paint outside in the light and it's pretty much in the sun, and you bring it inside, it kind of tends to go a little darker. It just depends. But this one's a little bit darker, which I think still adds to the effect. And that's about it. So this little series I call Into the Woods. I mean, just today I was just thinking about it. You know, if I could probably do another one, and we just can kind of call this a series. I'm having to come up with another title for it. So I think that would be kind of cool to do, Into the Woods, and this is number 2. And the tone of the painting, started off a little differently, with a little bit of orange infused into the tone of the background, and then leaving some of that. It almost looks a little sanded. And I try to leave areas, in this way of painting, I try to leave areas that are untouched, that just show the brushwork going down and not doing too much of anything else, and moving on to other areas, so that way you get something that looks totally different and not overworked. And so when I'm trying to put down brush strokes in some areas, and I kind of pause a little, and I'm kind of thinking, like, what would this area look like, or should I just blast through it, or carefully render it, carefully put in form, or follow lines, or etc. So all those kind of come into play when you're painting the painting, and that kind of comes with experience. And this painting came pretty quick. I think, if I remember right, it was about a 45-minute painting. pushing the limit of time. But if a painting comes fast and it still works, that's perfectly fine. It just worked, and that's how it went. But if it takes you longer and it still comes out great, that's the way it works. Some paintings come out and flow just fine. It kind of depends on the subject, and some of them come out real quick. But that's it. I hope you liked the painting, and if you have any questions, just message me. and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.